Ethiopian government troops have renewed fighting against the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front. An airstrike on Wednesday killed 10 people in northern Tigray, only one day after 2 people were wounded in strikes on a local TV station and Mekelle University. The TPLF is also accusing neighboring Eritrean forces of joining the government against them. There are also reports of tensions between 2 of Ethiopia's largest ethnic communities, the Amhara and Oromia. For more on this conflict, I'm joined live via Skype from London by William Davison, a senior analyst for Ethiopia with International Crisis Group. Mr. Davison, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, this war is a complex issue and not only involves the government troops of Ethiopia against the TPLF, but also a foreign country. What is Eritrea's role in this war?
Eritrea was part of the initial attempt to remove the TPLF regional government in November 2020. That was a campaign which also involved multiple atrocities. Eritrea's government, particularly its president, Isaias Afwerki, they are a long-time enemy and opponent of the TPLF. They fought as rebels in the 1980s. They fell out in the 1990s after Eritrea's independence in 1993, and then they fought a brutal war, Ethiopia versus Eritrea, when the TPLF was in charge in Ethiopia in 1998. So it is really the bitterness and the enmity created by that history that led to Eritrea's involvement there.
You know, William, what we've seen since 2020, the tensions in Ethiopia, brings me to a question of what exactly do we know about the 2 phases of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the Nobel Peace Prize laureate, and the Abiy Ahmed of today?
I think Abiy took power at a time of great political turbulence after a period of sustained anti-government protests. And many people domestically and internationally saw him essentially as Ethiopia's savior. That was certainly how he presented himself. He presented himself as all things to all people. He made very uplifting speeches, very welcome aspirations regarding democracy and peace. But the problem is that Ethiopia's political challenges at that time were incredibly deep. It is very hard to find consensus in such a divided country. And ultimately, Abiy has mismanaged the transition. It has obviously led to civil war and other very serious violence. So I think, although the aspirations were there, probably the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize was premature. And then Ethiopia's political realities have hit home, and we have seen Abiy act more as a traditional authoritarian Ethiopian leader rather than any departure from that.
But should we be hopeful that the mediation efforts by the African Union right now and other parties will bring these warring parties together to reconcile and bring peace to the Horn of Africa giant?
There's hope in the sense that we see a lot of concerted diplomatic activity. We have the African Union envoy Obasanjo. We have the US envoy Mike Hammer bringing representatives from Tigray's government and the federal government together in Djibouti, and there is generally an understanding we need an expanded and more robust international mediation here, and we see some sort of nominal commitments to peace from the parties. But what we don't have is agreement on some critical issues. Tigray wants a blockade on Tigray, commercial traffic, public services, to be lifted by the federal government before they're willing to enter into a truce. And this is the sort of thing that has taken us back to war 3 weeks ago. And unless those issues are resolved by those international actors, then we could well see another bout of sustained conflict here.